Imagine a force of just 1,000 warriors armed only with bows, taking on
1,000 archers, facing an army said to number more than 36,000 armored infantry. At first, this sounds like a myth, the kind of exaggeration ancient historians were famous for. But multiple ancient sources, Egyptian records, Greco-Roman writers, and archaeological evidence point to a recurring truth. When Kushite archers chose the battlefield, numbers alone did not decide the outcome. This is not a story of brute force. It is a story of preparation, terrain, and psychological collapse. The kingdom of Kush ruled Nubia, south of Egypt, along the Nile corridor. For centuries, Kush was not only independent, it was feared. Egyptian texts refer to Nubian archers as elite mercenaries, not auxiliaries, not expendable troops, elite specialists. From childhood, Kushite boys trained with bows that required extraordinary strength to draw. Their weapons were longer than most Mediterranean bows, with heavier arrows designed for distance and penetration rather than speed. This was not decorative warfare. It was functional, brutal efficiency. Ancient armies often believed armor made them invincible. Bronze plates, large shields, discipline de formation. But armor has one weakness. It assumes the enemy is in front of you. The Kushites understood something many armies ignored. War is not about meeting force with force. It is about denying the enemy the fight they prepared for. According to ancient accounts, the opposing army marched with confidence, tens of thousands strong, heavily armored, well supplied. Their commanders expected a traditional engagement. Lines advancing, shields locked, decisive contact. Instead, the Kushites let them advance. Unchallenged. No scouts engage. No skirmishes visible. Just silence. The battlefield was chosen deliberately. A narrow valley. Rocky slopes on both sides. Limited maneuverability. The infantry formations compressed as they moved forward, exactly as the terrain demanded. From above, the Kushite archers waited. Camouflage. Disciplined. Invisible. This was not an ambush driven by panic. It was a controlled execution of a plan. The first volley did not rain down randomly. Ancient descriptions emphasized targeting. Officers first. Standard bearers. Messengers. The command structure collapsed before the army fully understood it was under attack. Armor protected the chest and torso, but arrows fell from steep downward angles, slipping between plates, striking necks, shoulders, and thighs. Shields raised forward offered little protection from above. Within minutes, formations began to loosen. At this stage, casualties alone did not break the army. Fear did. The soldiers could not see their enemy. They could not charge uphill through narrow paths under continuous fire. They could not retreat without clogging their own escape routes. Every movement invited another volley. This is where numbers became a liability. The more soldiers packed into the valley, the greater the confusion, the greater the panic. Ancient historians consistently describe this moment the same way. The army stopped advancing. Then it stopped obeying orders. Then it collapsed. Modern historians caution against taking ancient casualty numbers literally. 36,000 may be symbolic rather than exact, but the outcome is not disputed. The force was neutralized without close combat. The Kushites did not pursue recklessly. They understood desert warfare. Exhaustion, heat, and disorganization finished what arrows began. This was victory without hand-to-hand battle. What made this possible was not superior technology alone. It was doctrine. The Kushites treated archery not as support, but as the decisive arm. They exploited terrain as a weapon. They targeted leadership deliberately. They broke morale before breaking bodies. These principles would reappear centuries later. Among steppe nomads, medieval longbowmen, and early modern skirmish tactics. The lesson of this battle is uncomfortable for empires. Armor does not guarantee survival. Numbers do not guarantee control. And confidence, when unsupported by intelligence, becomes a liability. History rewards armies that understand where to fight, when to fight, and when not to fight at all. This is why Kushite archers were feared across the ancient world. and why their reputation
In
endured
a time when the
long
world was
after their
dominated
enemies
by
forgot
knights
their
in
names.
shining armor,
Because in
a
war,
battle of
as in
unimaginable
history,
scale
the
was
side
about
that
to
controls the
unfold.
conditions controls the outcome. If you want to see another moment where strategy destroyed overwhelming force, the next story is even more surprising.